All right, it is that time in the video lecture where I announce that we're shifting to the lightning round format. And if you've ever made it past a part 3 or 4 in a video series, you know that's bollocks. We inevitably get caught up in discussion, but that's a good problem to have because we want to engage your questions. The better your questions, the more we have to say about it, right? The more they're stimulating discourse, okay? Even in an asynchronous setting, which we love here. Communication, Media, and Ethics degree at MacU. All right, I've got some questions from Simone. Just a couple that I'll hit. Let's go to the spreadable media text. Bountiful text for us this week, right? Jenkins, Ford, and Green. In their introduction, they talk about, quote, why media spreads. Yeah, the title of the introduction. First question, how is viral content created from memes? And man, the wording here had me perplexed, and I was just sort of just playing with word movement on this, but I reworded here. I said, maybe just rewording the question can give us an answer. So we'll think of it as a creative exercise. Memes provide content high in social spreadability. So that's my official response there. How is viral content created from memes? We could reword that question a few ways. Well, memes provide content high in social spreadability. They can be quickly and easily put together, sent out, instantaneously, and the more traction, the spark of the meme itself, the more likely it's going to gain virality, right? Spreadability. Of course, our authors, being virtuous, they actually write against the grain of using terms like viral because it takes on a negative connotation, and so they're advocating spreadability as a way we can think about it in a more upbeat fashion. Explain what the purpose. Explain the purpose of the quote unquote stickiness model. All right, and so before I found an area, an excerpt I want to read from page 4 of first edition of Spreadable Media. It has entered its next edition, and I saw that at the SCMS conference in Toronto this spring. I'm interested. Eventually, once we work through this group of students and we phase into the next start cycle, we'll update the edition. Excited to explore it more. I did get a chance to do there at the book fair, but we will adopt it soon. But their central thesis or argument isn't necessarily changing. They're just updating some of the conversations. Anyway, with the stickiness model, I like to think this is the equivalent of keeping the customer in the shop, right, or store as long as possible. Okay, what are the mechanisms by which stores intentionally design themselves to keep you, the customer, inside? Think about that for a second. Whether you do shopping at Walmart or Target, or maybe just boutique stores, something like that, how are they strategically designed in ways that intentionally work to keep you inside? And because, so goes the theory, the longer you're inside, the more likely you're to pick up additional items. Or think about in the grocery stores you go to, that kind of thing, how do they lay out certain products on certain aisles in a fashion that encourages you to purchase more items, okay? There's strategic layouts to everything, and that pattern recognition is significant to consider. Not just as a marketer, but as a consumer, right? All right, so page 4, I found an interesting excerpt about stickiness. Let's get it on the record here, Let's this is a week we're going to read a little bit, and that's fun. And if it's not fun for you, I don't know what to tell you, right? Have some fun. This subheader is labeled sticky content spreadable practices. Okay, so let me jump down. I'll jump down to the stickiness section. Our use of spreadability is perhaps most effective as a corrective to the ways in which the concept of stickiness has developed over time to measure success in online commerce, a term that emerged through marketing discourse, which was popularized by its use in Malcolm Gladwell's The Tipping Point 2000 and elsewhere. Here we go. Stickiness broadly refers to the need to create content that attracts audience attention and engagement. All right? Let's skip down to the line. Gladwell uses stickiness to describe the aspects of media texts. So let's shift from the physical world. I talked about stores, shops, and so on, to the digital realm. The aspects of media texts which engender deep audience engagement and might motivate them to share what they learned with others. Okay? Okay. Okay, so let me add one more. There's actually 3 sub-definitions on stickiness provided here. As online business models have been built, the use of stickiness in the business setting refers to centralizing the audience's presence in a particular online location to generate advertisement revenue or sales. eBay, Facebook, okay, the longer you're there, and you look at the margins, the content, traditionally, content is just like right here. And then over here and over here, you may have some labels, you may have some like some clickables, okay, some of the design mechanisms, but you've also got some adverts, right? Some advertising that's either overt or covert, right? It could be embedded, but it's present and it's intending to impact you in that space. Let's see, third definition. I'll just jump to the definition. The mechanisms motivating people to seek out and spend time at a particular site. End quote. All right, all of those from page 4. Stickiness is about alluring someone to some place, digital as opposed to physical, since we're having a digital conversation. And how do we maintain their activity there in a way that also motivates and encourages them to take that message outward or to take that product outward? And guess what? When we take that product outward, it's now, we're not just adhering to the stickiness of the text, we're practicing spreadability, okay? So when your favorite thing you liked on that favorite site of yours, and then you have that innate inward desire to send it out, to share it because you're so passionate about it, right? Now you're activating that spreadability of the given text, okay? Great question. Aaron. Funny stuff from Aaron this week. Pop culture. Let's shift back to Danisi. We haven't talked about Danisi in a popular culture text in a little while. Chapter 11. Does the ease with which anything can be transformed into entertainment in this Mashpedia day and age lead to a lack of respect for anything by society? Okay, so slippery slope fallacy is all of this sort of Mashpedia activity of everything is everything and everything is nothing. I get it. This is a total postmodern question from Aaron. Is this a leading agent in this apparent a perceptual lack of respect for anything in society, right? So the old adage, nothing is sacred. Definitely there is something to when pop culture has broken down every barrier, right? Every sacred barrier, then what's left to, respect? And there is that, I see that sort of parallel argument about moral decline and that sort of thing is very common. It's a commonplace argument. I see it used by politicians. I see it used by ministers. But, and it's one of those instances where if I try to assess it objectively, I see it flowing both ways, right? I see it flowing both ways. So the first thing that came to mind was hasty generalization, logical fallacy. But if such a claim could be supported, okay, it's a follow-up, it would make for an exceptional research question to pursue. So I'm not, I don't know, not going to offer a solid response to that question because I like the kind of conversation or research question it's opening up rather than let me put the stamp of closure on this. Okay, so good thinking there. What has contributed to Facebook's staying power that other social media platforms like Friendster don't seem to have? Will Facebook ever go away? So, similar to a question we were tackling in our previous segment. And let me start with the second part of it. There is a third part. Will Facebook ever go away? Hard to say. Eventually everything goes away, one would think. But it's hard to say. But it's becoming, let me use the word here, concretized, right? Cemented into public and global usage. All right, anything that's over a 1 billion user mark clearly has a kind of draw and staying power. Like, that is, the numbers using Facebook are astronomical. They are insane. So this is kind of like the Walmart, the McDonald's thing. There is a threshold you cross where once you cross that threshold, it's Coca-Cola, right? I mean, all Coke had to do was to be among the first and the best. And look at the staying power, okay? And then, like, these other things can kind of pitter-patter around Coke's shadow. Facebook is that for social media. I totally get the algorithms that now we question it, and oh my goodness, wait, we're so shocked. You were gathering our data and you sold it? Really? It was like, well, or did you just not think, you should just tell yourself they weren't doing that, beforehand? It was kind of like the reveal we all knew, the reveal that was foreshadowed. But, Facebook is Coke. Facebook is close to what Disney has become, and the fact that it's Facebook and YouTube. I mean, all of these fall under the sort of Google umbrella. They've established a monopolizing dominance. So, that's like, predicting fall of Rome now. It's just like, when the entire society changes, I guess we'll move Facebook with it. It'll fall away then. Okay, back to first question. What has contributed to Facebook's staying power and that other social media platforms like Friendster don't seem to have? Okay, well, they were able to monopolize the best, the fastest. But here's the chronology, and I'll lay it out really quick. Young people made Facebook cool, and it was elite, and it was closed off. But then, like any capitalist model, it opened up, open, expand, and thus starts to become profitable. And then all adults got on, and now it's a normative practice. So I'm going to use this term here to seal off my response. Facebook has now become institutionalized. It's institutionalized, and that's why it's not going anywhere anytime soon.